Hello, my name is Ben Wiley, and this is my presentation on Universal Design for Learning. UDL was designed to build maximum flexibility into a curriculum and to provide every student with the maximum ability to do well. So where did it come from? Well, originally, UDL came from architecture. Architects found that they had to design buildings that allowed access to all people. They found that retrofitting was both inefficient and expensive and was often very ugly. This gave rise to the ideas of designing the original building with access in mind. Some examples of this include things like ramps, elevators, doors that open automatically, and special adaptations for the visually impaired. These ideas have been applied to curriculum. Just like it's the architect's role to ensure every person can access a building, it's the educator's role to ensure that everyone can access the learning. So the principles of UDL are: Principle 1, provide multiple means of representation. Learners differ in the ways that they perceive and comprehend information that is presented to them, so this must be addressed. Principle 2, provide multiple means of action and expression, because learners differ in the ways that they can navigate a learning environment and express what they know. Finally, the third principle is to provide multiple means of engagement, because effective learning represents a crucial element, and learners differ markedly in the ways in which they can be engaged or motivated to learn. So how can educators apply these principles in their teaching? Well, they can provide options for perception. They can allow students to customize the display of information, for example, highlighting the text, changing its size, changing the color, and things like this. They can also provide options for language, mathematical expressions, and symbols. So students can illustrate through multimedia, they can use dictionaries, and they can provide options for comprehension. So teachers can highlight the big ideas and activate prior knowledge. All of these things will provide multiple means of representation for students. The second principle, providing multiple means of action and representation, teachers can provide options for physical action. So for example, they can optimize the access to tools and assistive technologies, and they can vary their teaching methods. Teachers can provide options for expression and communication, so use different media for communication and use different tools to construct the work. Finally, they can provide options for executive functions. So teachers need to guide goal setting and support student planning and help students to manage their own progress. The third principle, providing multiple means of engagement, can be supported when teachers provide options for increasing interest. They can optimize individual choice, optimize relevance and authenticity, and minimize the distractions. They can also provide options for sustaining effort and persistence. By encouraging collaboration, they can vary the resources to maintain the challenge, and teachers need to provide mastery-oriented feedback. Finally, they can provide options for self-regulation. So facilitate personal coping skills and self-management. They can help students develop self-assessment and reflection skills and find ways to promote students' self-motivation. There are many ways that technology can be used to assist with universal design for learning. They very much go hand in hand. In terms of providing multiple means of representation, they can provide multiple means of representation by utilizing text editors to alter fonts and speech generators to make sure the resource is accessible to students with hearing problems. They can provide multiple means of action and expression by using tools that enable their use. For example, clickers that allow students with limited mobility to participate in discussions or access a computer, and programs that students can use to play to their individual strengths of expression. Finally, technology also provides multiple means of engagement by increasing the amount of choice for projects and vastly increasing the accessibility of resources. UDL should be embraced for many reasons. 1. It offers equity amongst our learners. By allowing them to access the curriculum, we're honoring their rights to learn. 2. We have a responsibility to teach every student in our school, and UDL makes this feasible. UDL provides a way to engage our students, which will make school more enjoyable for everyone. And finally, by using UDL, we will engage and provide a satisfying learning environment for all, and this will lead to better results. Now I'd like to change gears and see how UDL relates to brain research. So what's been learned is that learning is across 3 interconnected networks. The recognition network are specialized to receive and analyze information. This is the what of learning. The strategic networks are specialized to plan and execute actions. These are the hows of learning. And finally, the affective networks are specialized to evaluate and set priorities. And these are the whys of learning. It's important to note that learners differ in the ways they utilize these networks. Interestingly, one of the clearest and most important revelations stemming from brain research is that there's no regular students because they all differ in their abilities to use each network. The three networks are addressed in different ways in the classroom. By incorporating UDL with brain research, we can support the many diversities in our classes, including cultural, ethnic, linguistic, and academic diversity. The following are some ways in which this is achieved. To address the diversity in the class, teachers can provide multiple examples. By seeing, hearing, smelling, or touching many instances of a pattern, recognition networks can extract the critical features that define that pattern. Teachers can highlight critical features. When they speak using pitch, volume, they pause, intonation, pointing, gesturing, and facial expressions, they are highlighting critical features. In text, this can be accomplished by using italics, boldface type, changing font size and color to draw a learner's attention to some important parts. Teachers can provide multiple media and formats by providing multiple representations of patterns through a variety of media, formats, levels of detail, and degrees of depth. This includes more learners by offering both choice and redundancy. Choice enables those with disabilities affecting a particular modality to access the information via another one. Finally, they can support background context. Teachers help students tie their background knowledge to new patterns and help fill in gaps by providing related information. Ways in which teachers can support the strategic networks are by providing flexible models of skilled performance. So teachers can present models of processes in a variety of contexts using a variety of media. And the exposure to multiple models showing different effective ways to do something helps learners distill the critical features of a process, different ways that can be accomplished. Teachers can provide opportunities to practice with supports. To support contextual practice, teachers can scaffold some parts of the process so that learners can focus on strengthening their abilities in other parts. Scaffolds reduce the degrees of freedom in order to focus learning in specific areas. Teachers can provide ongoing relevant feedback. Feedback's most effective when it's provided in an ongoing fashion, supporting course corrections and building learners' confidence about what things are going well. And finally, offer flexible opportunities for demonstrating skill. And this can easily be achieved using technologies. Teachers can support the final network, the affective network, by offering choices of content and tools. By working with multimedia in the World Wide Web, educators can break the cycle of discouragement and re-engage learners who are stressed by or indifferent to conventional learning media. They can offer adjustable levels of challenge. Getting students to work in their zone of proximal development is important, and when structured, it provides an opportunity for students to practice setting realistic goals and optimal challenges for themselves. Teachers can also offer choices of rewards and choices of learning contexts. In the classroom, factors such as noise and activity contribute to the learning context students experience. And by reducing the different types of learning contexts, teachers can be putting some students at a disadvantage. Technology helps to connect UDL with brain research, as can be seen in this diagram. Listed here as diverse tools and media, technology allows the teacher to build UDL into the curriculum and support all three learning networks. Now I want to look at some resources that schools could use to improve their instruction using the principles of UDL. The first is the National Center on Universal Design for Learning. It's great for applying UDL in your classroom. They have a section on implementing UDL that lists resources that match the principles and guidelines. They not only explain what the resource is, but they articulate why it is considered valuable for UDL. This is an excellent resource for all teachers. In the example seen here, the specific guideline they were looking at was that teachers illustrate through multiple media, and they provided about 10 different resources. The next resource I'd like to talk about is the Free Technology Toolkit for UDL in All Classrooms Wiki. It also has a great amount of UDL resources for teachers looking to incorporate these principles into their teaching. This is valuable because it lists the resources in terms of the skill you would want to develop, for example, literacy or research or digital storytelling. This will help all teachers become better at using UDL through mostly free technologies. The last resource I'd like to share with my school would be the CAST.org website. It has a UDL curriculum self-check. It allows teachers to gauge their own use of UDL and see where they can improve. The previous two resources shown have lots of tools to help any teacher improve that practice. So in conclusion, UDL is important because it helps educators understand how to tailor their curriculum to meet the needs of their students. Since there's no normal student, this is an essential part of teacher practice. Thank you. Goodbye.